Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing a few key terms which we are going to use throughout the course. Hence, it is absolutely essential that we are comfortable with these terms. Okay. So, let us first start with a very basic term which we use even in our day-to-day life, asset. Okay. So, we have used this term, we have used this as an English word. So, the meaning is same. Asset is something which is valuable for you. So in strict sense, I can say that in future, if I need money, if I need cash, I can use my assets to get cash. Okay. So I can sell them to earn cash. Okay. So there will be two major types of assets. One is physical assets and other is financial assets. Okay. Physical assets would mean say real estate. So for example, if you own a house, it's an asset to you because in future you can sell that house and earn some money. Okay. Or if you own say gold, that is an asset because it is worth something. Okay. On the other hand, financial assets, they are not physical objects. They can be say something like FDs or insurance policies or shares of a company. So you don't have any physical thing, but still they are worth something. So FDs, when they mature, they are going to give you money, or you can break an FD and earn money. Insurance policy, for example, if you have an endowment type of insurance policy, means an insurance policy which pays you if you survive for say 10 years, then it's like an asset because at the end of 10 years you are going to get money. Or if you have term insurance, still it's like an asset. When you die, you are going to get some money. Okay. So insurance policy is another type of asset, financial asset. Shares of a company is another type of asset. Now what is a share? So most people may not even be familiar with this concept of shares. So what is a share? Let us say we decide that okay, our department does not have a canteen and we want to open a canteen. Okay. Of course, when we are going to come to the department is a different question, but let's say we decide that. So your batch decides that okay, you want to open a canteen. So there are 50 people in your batch and you feel that okay, initially to start the business, you are going to need say 10,000 rupees. And of course, you don't want any one person to chip in 10,000 rupees. None of us is rich, so we don't have 10,000 rupees. But there are 50 people. So if we divide, how much we are going to get? 200. So if each one of you contributes 200 rupees, you can bring the initial capital of 10,000. Okay, so that's what you decide to do. So you decide that each one of you is going to pay 200 rupees. That way you will have 10,000 rupees at hand and you are going to use those 10,000 rupees to start the canteen. So it is as if there are 50 shares and each of you is going to own one share for the canteen. Okay. Now this need not be restricted to 50. If you say that okay, you have a single share whose price is say 100 rupees, then each of you have paid 200 rupees. So it is equivalent to saying that each of you have 2 shares. Okay. So share is nothing but, it's again in the sense similar to its English meaning. You have some share in the capital and hence at the end you will get some share in the profit also. So if at the end the canteen ends up getting say 5,000 rupees profit at the end of the year, then this 5,000 rupees will again be equally divided in 50 people and each of you will get 100 rupees from the profit. Okay. So here I was assuming that each of you contributed equally. Suppose we decide that no, each of you don't want to contribute equally. We decide that okay, say teachers are supposed to be earning, so teachers should contribute more. So we say that okay, these 50 students suppose contribute only 100 rupees at the beginning. So you get 5,000. This is another scheme. Okay. And each teacher contributes say 1,000 rupees and 5 teachers contribute in this way. So you get another 5,000 rupees. Now if you say that 100 rupees is equivalent to 1 share, then every student has 1 share, whereas every teacher has now got 10 shares because they have contributed 1000 rupees. So we will say in that canteen, every student owns 1 share, whereas every teacher has 10 shares of that canteen. And at the end, when the profit is going to get divided, it would be divided in the similar proportion, ideally. Okay, so if each share was worth 100 rupees and we had 10,000 rupees initial capital. So initial number of shares was 100, where 50 students had 50 shares and remaining 50 shares were owned by 5 teachers. So every teacher had 10 shares, right? So the profit would get divided equally. So 10,000 rupees profit, if I divide into 100 shares, every share is going to earn 100 rupees profit. So teachers would get 1000 rupees, their 1000 rupees back, and students would get their 100 rupees back. Okay, so share is kind of part ownership of that company. Okay, and now what do you mean by trading shares? See, for example, now, okay, right now you have ownership of this canteen partially, but once you complete your MSc, you may no longer want to have that ownership because you are not going to stay here, so you are not interested in getting profit from it. Okay, so you decide that okay, you don't want it, but of course there are your juniors who would be staying here and right now they don't have any ownership in this canteen. So you can say okay, I will sell my shares to you. So you can say to your junior, okay, so initially we paid 100 rupees, but now because the canteen is already growing, the share is worth more. So you pay me 120 rupees and I will sell my share to you. So once the junior pays you 120 rupees, your right is gone and now that junior owns 1/100th part of the canteen. Okay, each of you can do that. So now the ownership is transferred to new shareholders, those people who now have that money, who now have paid the money. Okay, so that's what a share is. Okay, so share is in that sense a financial asset. You don't have anything concrete, but it is still worth money. You don't have any tangible object, but it is still worth money. Okay, in fact initially it used to be a piece of paper which states that okay, you have paid this much, so you have this much, you own this much part of the company. However, nowadays it is, you know, everything is online, it's demat, so dematerialized. Okay, so you may not even get a piece of paper, you just get a certificate which may be a digital certificate stating that you own a part of this company and what part. Okay, and the profit which I said you get is actually called as dividend. So at the end, when company earns profit, some of it gets divided among the shareholders because they have contributed to the capital of the company, and that profit which is paid to the shareholders is known as dividend. So it is share of the profit, and that share, I am now using share in terms of English word share. So that share in the profit is proportional to their initial contribution. So those who have contributed more would get larger portion, those who have contributed less would get less portion. Okay, so I hope the concept of share is clear to everyone. I know for many of you this might be too trivial, but I don't want people to lose out just because they are not comfortable with the terminology. So share becomes a financial asset. So these are some financial assets, and financial assets can be divided into two types, risky or riskless. Now what do I mean by risky and riskless? Generally, FDs in traditional well-established banks can be considered as riskless. In what sense? So suppose you invest 50,000 rupees today in an FD and the bank has told you that at the end of 15 years, because of interest, you will get 1 lakh rupees back. Okay. So if it's a well-established bank, then you are almost sure that you will get your money back at the end of 15 years. Or in fact, in between if you want. Okay. So there is no risk involved. Whatever money has been promised to you, you will get that money. That is, there is no risk. On the other hand, so that's why FDs become riskless. On the other hand, things like shares are risky. Why? if we go back to this canteen example, okay, so initially you have invested 100 rupees in it, but suppose the canteen doesn't run well, okay, it suffers losses. Then at the end of the year, not only your money is gone, you might have to pay. So if a company suffers losses, shareholders might have to pay for it. Okay, so obviously your money is gone, you are not getting any money back. So this is a risky investment. Okay. Now some of you might be thinking, if it is risky, why do you do it? Because there is a chance of profit. In fact, generally, riskier the investment, the more likely it is going to give you huge profits. FDs would never give you very high interest rates, whereas riskier investments can give you higher returns. Okay, so canteen, it might turn out that the canteen is very successful. So at the end of the year, it has earned like 1 lakh rupees. So instead of your 100 rupees, you are getting 1000 rupees back. That is possible. Okay, so that's why people do invest even in risky financial assets, because they are hoping to get more money. In fact, in later lectures, we will discuss about different types of people. Okay, so what do they think while investing? Is it okay? So first is the concept of assets clear? Everyone got the difference between physical and financial assets? And in financial assets, what are the risky assets and what are the riskless assets? Is it okay? And the concept of share, because it is very, very, very important. Okay, so please try to think more about this concept of share and make sure that you have understood it clearly. Okay, now let us go to few more terms. Now there are a couple more terms. For example, there is something called as spot price. Spot price is price of something which is effective today. So today's price or immediate price. So if you want to buy a house today, whatever price you will be getting it at becomes a spot price. Okay, or if you want to convert your money to some other currency, whatever is current exchange rate at this today's moment becomes your spot rate. Okay, so this is another important word, spot price or spot rate. Another important term is derivatives. So what are the derivatives? Okay, so derivatives are those financial instruments whose price depends on the price of some other underlying asset. Okay, so underlying asset is different, but the price of that asset is going to control price of this new instrument, new financial instrument, that would be known as derivative. So in very, very vague and simple terms, if you want to talk, say for example, you decide you want to rent a house. Okay, now rent of that house is actually going to be proportional to the price of the house. If suppose someone has bought the house, generally that person is going to expect rent which is kind of proportional to the buying price. So if you have paid less for your house, you would expect less rent, right? So rent is proportional to the price of the house. So rent kind of becomes like a derivative, but derivatives are financial instruments. I am just trying to give you an equivalent example. Okay, I do try to give many non-financial examples like this during this course. Okay, but that is just to make things clear, because many people find financial terms to be very abstract and difficult to understand. So I tend to give such examples which I hope people can easily relate to. However, you should always remember that these examples are just meant to give you a flavor. They need not be 100% accurate representations of the fact. Okay. Why am I telling this? Because I have seen people quoting such examples in exam. So don't do that. In exam, if I ask for illustration, give precise financial illustrations. Okay. These examples are meant just to simplify things, just to make you comfortable with the concepts. Okay. So derivatives, we are going to learn two types of derivatives. Options and futures. We will discuss more about this term derivative when we discuss more about options and futures, and maybe forwards also. Currently, you should just remember that these are some other financial instruments which are, say, dependent on maybe shares sometimes. So if a share price changes, price of the option changes. If a share price changes, price of the future changes. If you don't know what is future, it is perfectly alright. You are not supposed to know. I am going to teach. Okay. So right now just remember the word derivative. Okay. Another two terms that we want to introduce is bid price and offer price. So what is a bid price and what is an offer price? So these prices are generally quoted by different financial institutions. They are not quoted by individuals. They are quoted by financial institutions like, say, bank. So bid price is the price which the institution is ready to pay for an asset. Which the institution is ready to pay for an asset. Okay. So if that institution wants to buy a particular asset, they are going to buy at this price. They are ready to buy at this price. They don't want to pay more than this. Okay. Whereas offer price is the price at which the institution is ready to sell a particular asset. Okay. So what do I mean by this? We are talking about same asset. So same asset is going to have two prices. One is bid price, one is offer price. They are double standard. So you want to buy generally at a lesser price, and while selling you want to sell at a higher price. So generally bid price is less than offer price, and the difference between them is known as bid offer spread. Okay. Let me explain further what is meant by this. So suppose you have recently been to US and you have some dollars left with you, and now you want to get those dollars converted to rupees. Okay. So you want to sell your dollars to bank. Okay. You want to sell your dollars to bank. So bank is going to buy those dollars from you. So suppose the bank has quoted bid price for $1 as, say, 70 rupees and offer price for $1 as, say, 70.5 rupees. What it means? When you sell dollar to the bank, means when the bank buys the dollars from you, it is going to buy at 70 rupees. So if you have $100 left with you, bank will give you 7,000 rupees in exchange to those dollars. Okay. On the other hand, you have a friend who is going to US now and he wants to buy dollars, but unfortunately you two can't meet, so you can't give your dollars to him. He goes to the same bank, but now he wants to buy the dollars, so bank is going to sell him the dollars. So for $100, bank will charge him 7050 rupees instead of 7,000 rupees. Why? Because the offer price given by the bank is 70.5. So when the bank wants to sell the dollars, it is going to sell at 70.5, whereas when it wants to buy, it is going to buy at 70 rupees. So here dollar becomes an asset because we are living in India. So the other currency becomes an asset. Okay. Your home currency is currency. It is not an asset. Is it okay? Is it clear what is bid and what is offer? So bid price is the price at which a financial institution is ready to buy an asset. Bid, buy. And offer price is the price at which the financial institution is ready to sell the asset. Okay. Now, two more terms we want to check, we want to see. First term is arbitrage opportunity. So what is an arbitrage opportunity? Arbitrage opportunity is an opportunity in market of getting risk-free profit. Okay, risk-free profit. It is also known as free lunch. Okay, and another term is short selling. What is short selling? Short selling is borrowing an asset from someone and then selling it. Of course, if you borrow someone else's asset and sell it, after some time at least, you will have to return that asset, but that is okay. So that's why it is short selling. So you sell it, you take it from someone, sell it, you get some money, and then later you return that asset, okay, by buying it again. So arbitrage opportunities are created if short selling is allowed in the market. Means if it is allowed that you can borrow someone else's share, sell them, and then after a while return those shares back. Okay. So then arbitrage opportunities are created, or opportunities to earn risk-free profit is created. Okay. We are going to deal with this a lot. We are going to see many examples of how risk-free opportunities, risk-free profit can be earned, etc., etc. But just to again explain the concept of short selling and arbitrage opportunity, let me give again one non-financial example. Okay, suppose I own some book and I have recently bought a new copy of that book, and right now I am not using it because I want to read it later. Okay, so the copy is in my bookshelf. Okay, and you come to my office and you notice that book. One of your friend actually wants that book, and that person has been telling you that the book is not available in my city, but it is available in Pune, so please get that book for me. Now you know that okay, that friend needs a book, and you also know that in March most of the bookshops are going to offer you a discount. So in March, if you buy that book, you are going to get it at a lesser price. Okay. However, your friend needs that book immediately, and you see the book in my bookshelf. So you ask me, do you need this book right now? I say, no, I am not going to need it for next 3-4 months. So you tell me, can I borrow this book? I'll return that book to you in March. I say, fine, go ahead. So I give my book to you. What you do is, you send that book to your friend. Your friend pays you the full amount because you have given him or her the book. And now you are anyway not supposed to return the book to me till March. So in March, you go to the bookshop, you get the book at a discounted price, and you return the book to me. I am happy because I got the same book back. The copies are identical, so it doesn't really matter to me whether you bought a new copy or you got my own copy back. Okay. However, for you, because you got now the book at the discounted price, whereas your friend had actually paid you the entire amount, the difference becomes your profit, and there is no risk. Okay, so it's a risk-free profit because your friend needed the book in January, so you gave the book in January. So your friend doesn't care about the price, he or she is ready to pay the full price, and I didn't need the book from January to March, so I don't care about where my book was during January to March. So none of us are bothered. So for you, it's a risk-free profit. So because short selling was allowed, because you were allowed to sell my borrowed book when I was not using it, it becomes a risk-free profit opportunity for you. That is, it becomes an arbitrage opportunity for you. Okay. So this is how arbitrage opportunities are created in the market. We will study more about these things later. Of course, because this is a finance course, we are going to learn newer and newer terms. So it won't, even till the end of the course, we'll be learning newer and newer terms. But these terms that we learned today are very key terms. So we are going to use it every now and then. Hence, please make sure that you understand each and every term. And if you have any doubts, please let me know. We'll stop here. Thank you.